Welcome all of you to the 10th expert session today. And this one is very close to my heart because strength training is something which is I'm like crazy about, and I've got a lot of people getting into strength training because I've seen this thing work basically. So my parents also do strength training. The kids and young guys do. My wife is doing, that's okay. But my parents are also back to strength training. They've never done it in life, and I have seen the benefits of strength training that has given me. And when I come to Anshul, Anshul, I met on, like most of you guys here, or I met on internet and on Twitter, or on an interaction that I had with him on Twitter, and we ended up fighting on some subject which was of obviously no relevance. But I have been working with him on my deadlifts. He has helped me a lot to improve my deadlifts, and his the tips and tricks that he gave me, and with that I can now do 100 kgs plus deadlifts with the right form. So just a brief introduction about Anshul. He is a premium fitness coach at Fittr and faculty at Institute of Nutrition and Fitness Sciences. He was always into sports but not very fit. Somehow he decided to join the gym and just never looked back after seeing results. Like most, Anshul has an engineering degree and worked as a data analyst for a few years, where he saw the kind of lifestyle majority of us have, and hence the issues and diseases we are prone to. If we don't make changes, we are going to have all those lifestyle diseases. The lack of information when it comes to even the very basic of nutrition and training was either incorrect or just half truth, which could end up hurting health more than just helping. He wanted to change that and help educate and make them fit. Hence, over the past 5 years, Anshul has been able to help over 1,000 plus people one-to-one as a coach of Fittr, an online health and fitness platform, as well as educate people by being part of fitness institutes. You can check him as on Instagram and Twitter. He is very regular on Instagram. I have been following him as in tips and tricks, and you can search him Anshul Dhamande, and you will get him there. So with these words, let me introduce to Anshul, and he's going to speak on the myths around the resistance training and why it's crucial for every person of all ages, irrespective of what work they do, to do strength training. It's not going to just increase your lifespan, but it's going to help you get the best of that lifespan and a very good health span. Over to you, Anshul.
Thank you so much, Sandeep sir. And I've attended the past few sessions as well. All the speakers, they thank you and for the opportunity. But there's a difference of at least 30-40 years. And like you said, our interaction on Twitter was it was a little bit of tussle. It was like I thought something that you were telling out, it was not incorrect. And instead of blocking me or instead of abusing me, like a lot of people do, a lot of celebrities do, and I wouldn't curse. I would just provide information and expect people to learn, right? And just doing that, I've been blocked by a lot of people as well. But you are a few of those person who actually took my number, who called me up, who understood. We talked for an hour and 1.5 hours, and I think we have been connected, and you have been asking for if any help needed. So this is the kind of people that we need. If someone is trying to correct you, try to learn. There is so much to learn. Even though I've been in this field for past 5 years, I teach people, I coach people, but I am learning every single day, and that's a very important aspect that I really, really, really admire for you, sir. And what you're trying to do, when you asked me, I was like, I would definitely want to help. And resistance training is that one topic where there is still a lot of myth, there is still a lot of misconception, and there is still a lot of hope when it comes to resistance training as well. So I think that's what we are going to discuss in this entire session. And at the end, I hope everyone understand and get their doubts clear, whatever they have thought of, heard of, and all these things. So I can start, right?
Yeah, Anshul, please.
Okay, so I would want to keep this session a little interactive because due to today's modern world, not a lot of people have that concentration of listening to a person for 1 hour, and especially online. Offline mein to bhi ho jata hai, teacher chalk walk fake ke maar denge, but yahan nahi hota hai, right? So I'll try to keep it interactive. I'll try to ask questions. You can put it down in the chat. I might not be able to see on YouTube, but at least I see 20 people here. So try to be interactive if I'm asking question. Else I'll just put it in a monotonous way, but try to make sure everything is to the point as well. Is that clear? Can I get a yes from the rest 17 people who are here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Naveen. Perfect. Okay, so the objectives that are what we are going to learn when it comes to is what exactly is resistance training, what are its importance, what are the common myths that we have come across at some point or the other, and I'll give you a very basic, very sample plan as well, a body weight as well as a dumbbell weight workout, and designing a plan and understanding a plan again requires hour to hour. Maybe we'll have that in future if it gets good reception and everyone spams Sandeep sir, yeah, we need more session from me. And finally, I'll take question Q&A as well and answer all the questions when it comes to resistance training, or specifically if you have one as per my topic. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so and this the first topic that I wanted to take was understanding what exactly resistance training is. There are so many definitions, and everyone, irrespective of the age, they have at least heard about resistance training or weightlifting or gym training. All of them are it's the same. And recently, in recent years, when we look at our idols, the actors, all the stars that we look at, the kind of physique that they have, all that six-pack ab looking like a Greek god, they have this thing in common, which is resistance training, right? Which is weightlifting. Okay, so that is something that has always current spike or current interest of not just youth, for all the age when it comes to resistance training, was because of the movies of the actors, which is one of the good things of resistance training, of performing resistance training. But we will discuss and why I have kept it the last, especially the appearance part. Okay, so what exactly is resistance training? So resistance training is it's a type of exercise which uses an external resistance as a stimulus that will contract our muscle or multiple muscle group. Okay, so very easily anything that is the external resistance, that is the stimuli. Stimuli means that is something which causes differences, which causes a reaction in a particular organ or in a particular muscle as well, so that they build, so that they change. So this resistance can be anything. Okay, right from your body weight to your dumbbells to your barbells, resistance band machines. These are all different types of these resistance, external resistance. Okay, so if you are lifting something from the ground, even that is a resistance. Okay, if you're lifting, your kid, if you have a kid, if you're lifting him off the ground, even that is your kid is also a resistance in that scenario. Okay, so a lot of people think resistance training only means that you just look chiseled, you just look good, but it actually has a carryover in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day life. Okay, so for someone who has absolutely no experience, when they start with just body weight exercises, it is comparatively easier because it requires nothing. It's just your body. Okay, so even when you're doing squats, you're doing body weight squats. If you're even that, your body weight is some sort of resistance as well. Okay, and for a beginner, starting from body weight exercises is the easiest thing. I know a lot of people here. I'm sure either you or at least some people you must have come across who would say, from tomorrow I'll definitely start from tomorrow or day after tomorrow or from next month, new year, right? And maybe trying to make some reason for the same as well. Okay, now in the last 1 year, the gyms have been closed, right? Equipments have been expensive. All these kinds of reasons we try to give. Has anyone given the reason for themselves and have delayed to, especially when it comes to resistance training? Yeah, so so for such kind of people, if you have no experience, or if there was a big break as well, so you can actually start with a complete body weight training as well. Even that will be a good place to start with. And looking at the current situation, if gyms are something that are closed down, or if it is something that you are not, you don't feel safe at, then even getting few pairs of resistance band, okay, which are extremely cheap comparatively, does not require a lot of space, and even they can be used as an external resistance to help build muscle mass, to help build strength as well. Okay, and there's something which can be used while traveling. So a lot of people, I was looking at the last session where I don't remember his name, but he used to travel very frequently, right? So again, we make excuses. I travel a lot, but something like this can always be used. Something like this is something that you can always carry. so that you do not miss out on some sort of resistance training as well. Is there benefit of doing it with dumbbell or barbell or machine? Well, yes and no. Of course, gym will be the best place. You know why? Because of two things. First thing is it's a different circumstance, right? Once you step into the gym, you will not come back in any, I'll do it in the evening, which is something that has been happening if you're trying to do workout at home, right? You try to delay, you try to procrastinate. And again, morning, I'll do it in the afternoon. Okay, no, I'll do it in the evening, right? So that's one of the reason why I generally prefer, why a lot of people also prefer gym. And the other thing is, the variety of equipments that are there, the machines especially. So there is a difference when it comes to performing it on a machine as well. For a beginner, for someone who has never been to a gym, actually using machines will be a little safer. A lot of people are afraid that they will injure themselves. Okay, unless and until you are doing it without any clue, or if you're trying to ego lift, only in such situations you will actually end up injuring yourself. Okay, we have heard stories which scare us a lot. A lot of people have been scared of doing deadlift, which is an integral part. Not that you cannot build muscle or strength without it, but it's an important exercises that can be included. But a lot of people thought that you're going to break your back. You're definitely going to break your lower back if you perform deadlift, right? So these are the misconceptions that spread a lot and very fast, right? Good things, it takes a lot of time to spread upon, but misconception and such kind of thing, they spread like wildfire. So you always have to understand what exactly these things are and try to perform and do it in a proper way and as per your goal, and then build upon it. Okay, is this clear? If this is clear, then I can move on to the next slide. Doing bodyweight training after understanding the importance of strength training. Excellent, Swati. So that's such a good start. Even for a lot of people, bodyweight exercises could be difficult. But once you, so I have had mentees who would say, no, this exercise is difficult for me. I won't do that. So it's okay. It is supposed to be difficult initially. Anything new that you do, okay, right from driving to walking to learning a cycle. Literally, when we were trying to learn cycle, we fell so many times. We literally scraped our knees and elbows, right? But if you hadn't not gotten up and practiced it, you wouldn't have done that. Things like resistance training or eating well, a lot of people are afraid of it is difficult and then they quit, right? We are made up of much harder things, so we can definitely learn these things over a period of time, right? Is that clear? Started with bodyweight training when was forced inside. True. Okay, so the other thing, now that we have understood what exactly resistance training is, it is also important to understand the importance of resistance training. Okay, so like I said, a lot of people they got to know about resistance training looking at the idols we admire. Okay, I love few of these idols from the core of my heart. Someone like Hrithik Roshan has always been, I have always been. He has always been, someone I look up to since his first movie came out, right? Until now, he is. Okay, but there are a lot of things that resistance training has a benefit than just looking good. Okay, the two things that it actually helps in is, of course, building muscle mass and strength. And the importance of both of them is that it has a carryover in your day-to-day activities. And this is for everyone, from a kid who's going to school, who's carrying a backpack on his bag or playing a sport, to a guy in his team who again is involved in some sort of sports or want to improve his skills, especially his motor skills, to someone who is in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Okay, because we'll understand, when you look at the ages as well, everyone is only going to benefit if their body has that good amount of strength. Okay, so even for the females, okay, even for male, female, if you are doing your day-to-day activities as well, if you're lifting something heavy from the ground, say if you're lifting a bucket which is full of clothes, wet clothes, if you're trying to pull it up, if you do not have good amount of strength in you, if you're not doing it in a proper form how it should be, you are actually going to end up hurting yourself. And I'm sure either you or someone across you must have gone through this, because I have, over the past few years, I have heard about these things. And I've heard about people who are trying to do daily chores, and they ended up having lower back pain or lower back issues as well. And if you are from a job that is sedentary, that does not require a lot of physical work, like in IT, like I used to work in IT, like Sandeep sir introduced, I used to work in IT. I saw the kind of lifestyle we have, sitting in front of the laptop for 8 hours, 10 hours. Like 8 hours to hota nahi hai, a login time is fixed, but jaane ka time to it's not fixed. It depends on till your work is done or your boss. Luckily, my boss was good enough, but that's there, right? So it's always in sitting in front of the laptop, and then it's then again by car, and then coming back home, spending a little bit of time with family, and then going to the sleep, and the routine just keeps it works like clockwork, right? Until you get up someday, you realize you have gained so much, and you realize that you're having a little bit of cervical issues, a little bit of back issues, all these things, and at the end you go to a doctor, and you go to a physio, and they will only end up giving you some or the other sort of exercise. Okay, so because these muscles then start becoming weak, and then it leads to the issues over a period of time, right? Anyone here who has experienced that? Anyone here who has gone through that? Yes. Okay, just Swati. Well, I'm pretty sure a majority of the people have. Right. So, this is exactly, so there is no medicine that is going to help you build strength or help you build muscle mass, right? Sure, the doctor can give you a medicine, but those medicines are painkillers. It is only going to relieve that pain for a long period for a little bit of time, if it is not severe. The only way to make sure that it goes away is to solve the root. Okay, and the root is, it is because of not having sufficient amount of strength in those particular muscles, because of which such things are happening, right? Now, coming to the age perspective of it, so like I said, my topic was also to not just discuss on how to look good with resistance training, but the importance. Okay, if you understand the importance and the carryover, these things will always be in behind your mind. Okay, so when you're trying to give yourself an excuse. So for children, yes, right from the early age, some sort of exercises as well, it will help build a foundation of fitness in their life. Okay, so Naveen is asking a very good question, is what kind of resistance training and how to start a 13-year-old boy. Okay, so you don't have to directly focus on, okay, let's get a few pairs of dumbbells and barbell. You can really start with body weight exercises as well, body weight squats, body weight push-ups, okay, pull-ups. All these things require absolutely no equipment, and does not require that amount of effort as well. Okay, once you see that your kid is loving the same as well, he's loving exercises, which is something happens. Okay, if you are a parent and if you have been regularly exercising, I am sure your kids must have been looked up to you, and they would want to be a part of the same as well. When I ask my mentees to share videos of them, I get so many times that their kids are actually counting how many reps they are doing, or they will join with them with their exercises as well. So this basic foundation of fitness and being fit, that is what is something which is very crucial in children's as well. And looking at how they respond, then maybe you can try to make things a little bit more challenging over a period of time. Okay, so that age of 12, 13 is good to start with. Okay, and if you there's a group on Facebook called as Fittr Kids, FITTR Kids. You can join that if you're parents. You will see all these kids performing, doing exercises, doing martial arts and all these things as well, which is so good to see. There is one kid, his name is Aryan. Oh, he is fit, he is strong. He like I should have include maybe in the next session will. But yes, that's something that you can keep in mind when you're starting from children, from the age of 10, 12, 13. A lot of people are scared about that resistance training will hamper their height. It is something that we'll definitely discuss in myths part, and you will understand the same as well. Okay, in adolescence, resistance training, and here by resistance training we mean if they start lifting additional weight more than their body as well, either by using dumbbells or weights, anything, it could help them enhance their motor skills. It can help improve their skeletal health, that is their bone health as well. Okay, so resistance training is not going to hinder your bone growth. It is actually going to improve it. It is actually going to enhance it. and muscular strength too. And we understand, if you have stronger legs, if you have stronger arms, there's a discussion that I had with Sandeep sir as well. I know he's a runner, he loves to run, but we ended up discussing how resistance training impacts your running as well, how it could improve your running, how it could improve your speed. And it is something that should be a part of the regime. And you have seen him. You have seen him grow. You have seen him change. He has built good amount of muscle as well, which a lot of runners, if you see, they might not have. Okay, and if you are constantly running, and especially if you have been on the obese category side, or if you have people surrounding it, you will see at the age of 30, 35, 40, 45, some or the other issues seep in. These guys will either end up having knee pain or ankle pain, or this is something which is very common, right? And what does doctor say? Either they will say reduce your weight, or they will say go to make sure that you are replacing your knees. So you know what is the reason why this is happening? Can anyone tell what could be the reason? Yes, weight is one of the reasons. But you see, every time, if a person is like 100 kgs, every time that the person is standing, every time the person is walking, all that weight is going down to their joints, okay, to their knees, to their ankle, to their lower back. These have to work more every time, because these muscles, your leg muscles, your hamstring muscles, your glute muscles, they do not have strength. If you have stronger legs, if you have stronger hamstrings, if you have stronger glutes, every time that you're standing, these muscles is what will take over and have less impact on your knees, right? So these things happen over a period of time, and it is because of overuse. Okay, it's like you have a car, but aapne na uski servicing ki ho, na maintenance ki ho. You're just running it because it is running. What is going to happen, right? So it is going to, at some point of time, it is going to give up. Now, obviously, you can go to a mechanic and you can fit in different parts, make it, or buy a brand new. But when it comes to your body, when it comes to your joints, when it comes to your health, it is something that you cannot buy. Right? It is something that you have to put in your effort. No one can do it for you. So it is something that you have to do, especially when it comes to building up of strength in such cases. Is this clear? Okay, so this is like quite the basics part. And with the elderly, so there is another myth, there is another precaution that elderly people think that they should take, that because they are getting old, they shouldn't do any sort of resistance training. And this is the exact reason why they should do resistance training. Okay, because as you start getting old, as you age, you start losing muscle mass, you start losing strength. Even if you're doing nothing, you will start losing this. In terms, it is called as sarcopenia. So sarcopenia is losing muscle mass because of aging. Okay, and the only way to make sure that it is less, or you actually build muscle and maintain your strength over the years, is resistance training. And then yes, resistance training also reduces the risk of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the bones also become weaker and brittle. So over a period of time, imagine if you're obese, and if you are on the heavier side, and if you have not been involved in resistance training, all these issues are only going to make things worse. Your lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle we have, the sedentary lifestyle, the food habits again requires a different session altogether. The upcoming of Zomato, Swiggy, all this delicious food, it has only made our life, it is only going to make our life even more challenging. Okay, it is going to be difficult to, that billion-dollar company is not going to shut down. That billion-dollar company's goal was to change our habits, and it has because of the pandemic, they were very successful in doing the same as well. So that is one thing that is working against us. And again, being afraid of resistance training, of any type of resistance training, is one of the primary issue, which is only going to contribute in a life which is going to be extremely difficult at that age, where you feel, okay, I am going to retire now at 50, at 60. I have worked a lot. Now I am going to make sure that I'm going to retire. This is when all these issues will seep in, and it is going to be 10 times more difficult, right? So a lot of people say that I scare them, but I'm not trying to scare you. I am just trying to tell you the truth. If you understand the truth, and if I paint you a picture of what will happen if you don't these things now, these important things now, at least some point of time we will realize this. Okay, can I go to the next point? Naveen will talk about it. So Naveen is asking, is there a ratio of one must follow cardio and resistance training? I'll definitely tell about the same as well. Okay, so another, which is a very talked about topic, is also fat loss. I do not believe that people like being unhealthy, people like being fit. Okay, it's just that they do not know the correct approach, or they do not understand the importance of the same, what is going to happen in long term. Okay, so everyone wants to look good, everyone wants to be fit, everyone wants to have a quality life, right? So to lose fat, if person want to lose fat, as a person wants to lose fat, the first thing that they do is, of course, the diet part. Sab kuch khana chhod denge, but that is a different topic. The other thing that people end up doing is that they run on treadmill. Okay, they'll run a lot on treadmill as well. They'll just start running, and they will see fantabulous progress, obviously. Okay, but again, that is not a correct approach when a person wants to get fit, when a person wants to lose weight, and obviously try to make sure that he's not harming himself in the process. Again, I am not saying that cardio is bad. Okay, cardio is necessary. It is a necessary part of a lot of people. It should be a necessary part. Endurance should be a necessary part of everyone's life. Okay, but the goal for a person should be to make sure that they're losing fat without losing their muscle mass, or at least building their muscle mass and strength. Okay, so if you are losing fat, if you want to lose fat, and if you just start running, you are only going to harm yourself. Okay, like we discussed, a 100 kg guy, the impact of joints when he starts, even if he's walking, if he starts running with that amount of weight for hours and hours every day, and without any sort of resistance training into the plan, he is going to injure himself in the short as well as more in the long term. Right? If you injure yourself, if you are not able to walk, then your activity level is going to drastically drop down. Right? So losing or gaining or making sure that you are getting fit over a period of time, it will cause a very big roadblock into the journey of the same as well. So if you are on a fat loss, if you want to lose fat, resistance training again has to be a critical part of your exercise regime as well. Okay, so if you just do ton of cardio, the impact of that will also have on that. The impact is that you will also end up losing a lot of muscle mass. So you might lose a lot of weight, you might lose 10 kgs, 20 kgs, 30 kgs, but then you will be weak. Okay, if you are losing weight, if you want to be fit, we want to be strong, right? We want to be strong, we want to be fit, we want to be healthy. We don't want to look lean, and we don't want to look skinny and weak. Correct? That's what everyone wants. That's what everyone should aim for as well. That's why resistance training should be a very critical, it should be a very crucial part of a person's fat loss journey, or a journey of being fit. Does that make sense? Okay. The another few aspects, of course, is when it comes to sports and the performance, right? Take any sports person, take Ronaldo, take Virat Kohli, even the top, take anyone from NBA, take LeBron, take Kobe, take anyone. Okay. They were putting a lot of effort, obviously, in the sport that they want to get at. Of course, Virat Kohli will not be just in the weight room. He will also make sure that he's putting the effort on his field, because that is something that he wants to get better at. But these guys, and especially the Indian cricket team, is now following, has changed a lot. If you see the kind of youngsters, the young crowd that came in, the kind of, there were definitely changes in their training routine as well. And you see these guys very much involved into some or the other sort of resistance training too, right? So like I discussed, if you are a football player, you would want to have good amount of strength in your legs, right? Only then you will be able to run faster. Only then you will be able to hit the ball harder as well. Sure, the skill will come from you performing, practicing football. Your endurance will come from cardio. Okay, but cardio is not going to help you build strength. Practicing football is not going to build you that strength in your legs. Okay, that will only come from resistance training. So irrespective of what sport there is, resistance training is only going to help, except chess. Okay, now chess is one that sport that might not require any sort of resistance training. Yes, though resistance training or exercise in general does have an impact on mental health as well, positive impact. It definitely did for me. I used to be very short-tempered over a lot of years, and instead of taking out on things around me or on people, I took it out on gym, which made a lot of changes apart from building good amount of muscle and having strength. So even that is there, right? But that's generalized to all sports. So that is one another aspect. So again, if you're a marathon runner, if you love cycling, or if you just want to be good at sport, which everyone wants to, if you are putting effort, if you are playing something, I'm sure everyone want to be good at the same as well. So resistance training, workouts, making sure that you're lifting weights is only going to help you, and making sure that you're building strength over a period of time is only going to help you perform better at these sports as well. Even for females, if you love dancing, if you love doing Zumba, all these are very high impact based exercises. If you do not have strength, all that impact is going down to your joints. HIIT exercises, the circuit kind of fashion, Zumba classes, these are very intense. These are very fun as well. Okay, a lot of people love that fun and find resistance training boring. Okay, which is okay. Okay, that's why when someone is asking the ratio between it, so the ratio is like, see, it is something that you should be able to do it in long term as well. So if you love running or if you love Zumba, try to make sure that you do not completely replace resistance training with the workouts that you love doing as well. Then you will start hating it. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're making a part of it. So if you're a profession, or if you love, say someone is wants to get better at marathon, so resistance training 2 days, 3 days in a week is sufficient enough to help them be fit and help with the performance as well. For someone like me, my goal someday is to compete in a physique competition, and that involves looking good without clothes, obviously. So hence I train 6 days in a week, and the kind of routine that I have, the kind of lifestyle that I live, it does not require a lot of endurance. Okay, and I do not like running as well as of now. So running is something that I do not do. So that's my personal decision. Sandeep sir, let's take an example of Sandeep sir. He loves running, so he can run for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days in a week, and try to keep 2 days, 3 days of resistance training. Okay, but building muscle and getting better at running, doing both of them together is going to be extremely difficult. Okay, so you will have to choose if you want to build muscle, so sure, if you give it time, you will be able to do both. But we say, right, if you want to focus on something, then you should probably focus on that more. So if your primary goal is to build a good amount of muscle and strength, then you might need to incorporate more amount of training days as well. And of course, with your experience, the number of days, the number of time that you might have to spend will increase. So if you are a complete beginner who has never done any sort of resistance training before, even 3 days in a week will be sufficient enough. Okay, but as your training experience, as you start building muscle, as you start building strength, you might need to increase the frequency of the same. Is that clear? Okay, perfect. And last and the least importance is what I put on appearance, and this is how it should be. If you see in reality, it is the opposite. A lot of people want to look good, and I don't even blame people. I blame what we are surrounded by, and a lot of time it is something that we cannot control, right? We look at actors and see. You also have to understand. A lot of people give examples of actors that he did in 3 months or he did in 6 months, or or the opposite side. He is an actor. He has so much amount of money. He has so much amount of time, right? So again, you are just making up an excuse. You cannot grow, you cannot build these things without putting in the effort. So these guys, these actors, they have been putting in the effort for sure. Okay, but then again, you have to also understand their appearance, how they look on screen. They have to look that way, else we are not going to admire them, or we won't look at them as well. Okay, we won't maybe might not even go to watch a movie, right? If Hrithik Roshan in a movie he's portraying an army guy or a runner and he's like obese, would you watch that movie? You would not, right? So these guys, and their life, their entire life, their entire career depends on that. Okay, for majority of people around us, or majority of people who are here or who might watch it later, it doesn't depend our job or promotion. It doesn't depend on our appearance, right? So it's personal. Okay, it's personal, and maybe to get compliments from people. So it should not be your primary reason. But yes, one of the byproduct of doing resistance training is that you will look good. It will, having good amount of muscle and being leaner, you do look good with or without clothes for sure, and it does help build up confidence. That is something I'll say anecdotally as well. It has helped me. It does help a lot of people. But yes, that's the last thing that I would want to keep when it comes to the importance of resistance training in everyone's life. Clear? If it's getting boring, I can move on to the myth slide. Agar bahut zyada ho raha hai, so okay, we have the myth slide anyways. So we'll just cover a few of the myths. So first thing, that people think that if they do resistance training, they will look like bodybuilders, right? So first thing, it is very, 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 very difficult to build muscle, and definitely to build muscle like a bodybuilder does. Okay, for an obese person, losing 20-30 kgs is fairly possible in a matter of 6 months or 12 years, 6 months or 12 months in a year, and that person can look like completely different, right? But to build muscle, okay, to build the kind of muscle Hrithik Roshan has been training for 20 years. If you look at his first movie, Kaho Na Pyar Hai, until now, his muscle mass is very much the same. Okay, a lot of people look at transformation of Amir Khan in the recent movie. What was it? Dangal. That he did it in 3 months. He did not build that amount of muscle mass in 3 months. He already had that muscle mass. If you look at his previous movies, Gajni, he already built that. He just got fat. Okay, so that build, but for that he must have put in good amount of effort. Or few actors might use few things that, again, for them professionally they have to. For us, we will never need to look at these things as well. So just understand, building muscle, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience as well. So a lot of people, they start with an excitement, which I also did. Looking at Instagram, I used to follow these models. Just like, yeah, you look at my plan, you take my supplements, and you will build physique like this. I learned it the hard way. It was very disappointing, but that's the truth. Okay, if it was that easy, just ask yourself this. Just tell yourself this. If it was so easy to build good amount of muscle and be fit in a matter of 3 months or 6 months, then everyone around us would have been. Sabhi ke sabhi hum rahe hote. Okay, but if you look at it, majority of people are not, because it takes consistent time, it takes discipline, it takes years. Okay, even to build it and to maintain it as well. And aisa bhi nahi ki if you build it, then you leave it, it is going to stay like that. It is going to go away. So it has to be, that discipline has to be there. The second one is, yes, the impact of growth, especially on kids. So there is absolutely no evidence that supports the claim that resistance training or weight training has an impact on growth or height of for kids. Okay, so height is something which is determined majorly by genetics as well as the nutrition. So there was one such study, I think, it was done on kids in Korea. It was not done. It was found that these kids, because they used to carry some 18 kilo loads or something on their back, there was a difference in their growth, in their height. But the primary reason for that was also the nutrition, because their nutrition, the kind of food that they were having, that their diet was, it was not proper. Okay, that is one of the reason why they could not grow. Their height was a little stunt. Resistance training or weight training was not the reason for the same. And trust me, majority of the population in India, and even my mom, dad, they believed that Horlicks was something that would help with height. It does not. All these supplements, all these brands, it's just marketing. There is absolutely no evidence. They say that they have this amount of vitamins and all. The primary sources of all these vitamins and minerals is food. Okay, so if there is proper amount of food, proper type of food, it is more than sufficient for them to help that growth. And resistance training, some sort of activity, some sort of exercise can help with that. Not help with the height, but at least with the rest of the things as well, as we have discussed. Right. So again, Horlicks, Boost, all these things, these have no benefit. These have absolutely no benefit. Just look at the nutritional facts. Again, this is a more of a topic when it comes to the nutrition part. But just look at the nutritional facts. You will see the ingredients. Majority of it is sugar. right? And they make it in such a way that it is highly palatable. Every kid, when I was still 12th, I used to drink Boost in milk, because I used to love that. I used to love that taste. And it has formed over a period of 10, 15, 20 years for me. So it was definitely a difficult thing for me to change, right? So once I understood that it really has no benefit, it helped. It helped me and all the people around me as well. Lastly, so there is again a very, very, very common myth that women, if they do resistance training, they will become manly. So this is what a lot of women think, that if they think that they do resistance training, they will look like this, which again is far, 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 far from truth. Okay, it is sure women can build muscle. There is another myth that women cannot build muscle. They can, okay, but they will never look muscular. They will never look bodybuilders. Look at any of these actors, right? Look at any of these actresses, okay, right from a very good example that I would give is like take Katrina Kaif, take Disha Patani, take any of these actors, take majority of these actors. You will see that because the one of the primary reason that they look like that, they look toned. Women want to look toned. They want to look, have those good shoulders, lean arms. All this is only going to come from resistance training. That is because of resistance training, okay, or some sort of like Pilates on, which is again a part of training as well. In some sort of resistance is doing in the same too. So no, women are not going to become manly. If you do weights, if you lift dumbbells, you're not going to become manly. You're not going to look manly. It is only going to help you in your day-to-day chores as well. Now, if you're doing some sort of work, and this for everyone, not just women, for everyone. When you're lifting up your kid, if you're lifting up something from the ground, buckets, you're carrying up your groceries, all these require strength. And you'll see, especially and in the lockdown, because of the kind of work you do, if you're doing a lot of physical work, at the end you're tired, right? You're tired. So if you are doing some sort of resistance training, it is definitely going to help you with the same as well. Okay, so that is pretty much it when it comes to the information part. I hope that was clear. I wanted to keep it short, but it went a little longer. So I just wanted to show you basic plans as well. There are a lot of things that depends when you are planning a workout for someone or for yourself. You have to look at your experience. You have to look at your past injuries. You have to look at what you are able to do. Okay. So if it is difficult for you to bend down, or if it is difficult for you to sit on the ground and get up, then even doing something like body weight squats can be a little challenging. Okay, so for such people, you can start with chair squats, or you can start with box squats. Okay, and then as you practice, trust me, as you put in the effort, I can guarantee you guys, if you put in the effort consistently, if you push yourself, you will definitely be able to see those changes over a period of time. Right? These things do take time, but as you do it consistently, this is how your body builds up. This is how your body adapts. You throw something, you throw things that it is comfortable at, it will adapt and it will become stronger. And then this is when we have to keep pushing, because we want to keep getting better and better and better. Right? So just an example of bodyweight exercise would be, so bodyweight squats, it would help train majority of the muscles in your legs. That is your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. Majorly will be your quads. Lunges, it is one of the most hated exercise, lunges, because it is that effective. And then there are different variations as well. So the most easier would be to try to take a support of a chair, of a wall, and try to go down with one of your knee forward and then go down. And as you get more practice, then you can start doing with dumbbells or doing walking lunges or doing split squats, all these things. So this sample plan is actually, I have taken a screenshot from an app called as Fittr, Fittr. So you can download the app. It will also show you how to perform an exercise as well. They do provide you few sample plans. So you can try these out, and it's a big community. You can ask questions there as well. And there will be mentors like me who will definitely help you with the same as well. It's completely free. It's a completely free app. It's a completely free platform, completely free group. So, and there's a lot of education that goes into the same as well. You'll see a lot of mentors like me consistently active trying to help people. You can definitely look at these exercises, the sample plan. Moving to the right, for people who have experience, I did not include a gym routine because I see a lot of gyms are still closed. So, but dumbbells is something which is which can be procured very easily, right? couple of thousand rupees, and you might get 30-40 kgs of set. So if you have experience, or if you used to do some sort of exercise before, then you can try something like dumbbell squats, dumbbell lunges, simply like trying to add resistance to these exercises and making it more challenging, making it more difficult. So stiff leg deadlift, dumbbell curls, glute bridges are an exercise which will target more of your hamstrings, of your glutes as well, which are equally important. So there is a lot of people make mistake of focusing on the muscles that we look in the mirror, right? Because we are not able to look at our back, our hamstrings, they do become our weaker muscle as well, which is something which is an important aspect to look at too. So when you're training over a period of, say, over a week, if it is 3 days, if it is 5 days, if it is 6 days, you have to make sure that you are training each and every of your body part, from your bicep to your chest to your core to your legs to your calves as well. Okay, it is only going to make sure that you are fit, irrespective of the kind of workout, irrespective of the kind of lifestyle that you live, kind of job that you have, kind of sports that you love doing. It will have to be a little custom tailored to the same as well. But simply, if you're a runner, so yes, you do want to have, you do want to make sure that you're training your lower body. But then, since your lower body has been trained so frequently, you have to make sure that you're training your upper body as well, so that there is not a disbalance between your upper and lower body as well. Okay, so is that clear? So there are a few questions. So again, a small thing that I wanted to say. So the resistance training, why I took, well, I actually love talking about nutrition more. But when Sandeep sir said about resistance training, I knew this was something which was important, because there are a lot of myths. And I actually wrote the chapter on the course as well. So I am a faculty on INFS, that's Institute of Nutrition Fitness Science. So we have this basic course, which is absolutely free. Okay, and faculty like me will come and teach you. So if you want to learn more about not just training, but also on the nutrition part, you can definitely check out the course as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it from my side. Sorry for blabbering for so long, but I definitely hope that I was able to help give you most of the information. I do see a few questions, so I'll just take these questions. I'm sure it will help everyone, or if not you personally, definitely people around you. How to know we are gaining muscle mass? Okay, a lot of fat is mostly observed, but how to check on muscle mass? So Niket, that's again a very good question, and it comes in line to what I just said, that building muscle mass, it takes time, and hence to show it does take a good amount of time as well. But see, if you're able to lift, say when you started your exercise, if you're able to do it with 10 kgs, now over a period of 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, you're able to do it with 20 kgs, 25 kgs. Okay, then you know, okay, you are on the right track. You are building strength, you are building muscle mass. And eventually, as you lean down, as they build, you will be able to see for sure as well. Okay, just that it requires consistency. Okay, a question for you too, Mr. Vijay is asking. So for a runner who's averaging 50-60 kilometers a week, how many hours of resistance training would you advise per week? Have been losing muscle mass if the weekly mileage is increased. Would also be good if you could suggest any specific generic resistance training plan for runners. Okay, so I think Vijay sir, I think you posted the question a little earlier. That's what I discussed a little before this as well. So like I said, if you're running 5 days, 6 days in a week, try to keep resistance training at least 2 to 3 days as well. Okay. Now, initially, when you start, take it a little bit slow, because it right when you start, it is going to hamper your running a little bit. Okay, because your body is not used to resistance training. Your body is not used to do this training with weights. Okay, so you might feel a little bit of soreness, especially with the legs day. People hate training legs because it gets difficult to walk for next 1 or 2 days. So if someone has done resistance training, leg training especially, and if they started with it, I am sure you must understand where I am coming from. So try to incorporate this kind of training a little slowly. Exercises, like I said, squats, glute bridges with weights, your stiff leg deadlifts. These are the exercises that will form a base of your training program. Okay, initially, I would say try to keep just one training day for leg day, and rest you can keep your upper body. Like I said, you have to make sure that you're training your entire body as well. Okay, and then slowly, as your body gets used to it, and depending on how you feel, then you can make these changes too. And try to keep these sessions separate. Okay, so if you go to running in the morning, then try to keep your resistance training on the separate day, or on the days that you're not going to run. That will be even better. Okay, but if you cannot, if you're, I understand, I've coached runner as well. So for them, running 5 days, 6 days become a little crucial, because at some days they'll train for endurance, at some days they'll have a specific time and specific kilometers that want to complete in that specific time. So which could be equally taxing, but I try to keep such days apart. Okay, I'll keep their leg days away from their taxing running days for sure. I hope that helped. Do push-ups and squat cover all the muscle group? No. So push-ups will primarily focus on your chest, your pectorals, your chest muscle, as well as a little bit of your upper body, that are your bicep, tricep. Okay. Squats, on the other hand, does involve quite a lot of lower body, and a little bit of core stability is also necessary. So your core is involved too. But other exercises would be necessary. Burpees, on the other hand, again, that's an exercise which comes pretty fairly if someone has done circuit training. Burpees, on the other hand, we can say that's an exercise that will cover majority of the muscle group. But again, burpees is not an exercise that is going to help you build muscle or build a lot of strength. Okay. It is going to help you build, like, it is a bodyweight exercise for someone who has not done any sort of training. For them, it will. But eventually, if you want to build muscle, if you want to build strength, you would want to add some strength training exercises too. Okay, is that clear? So I'll take any questions if you have.
Wonderful, Anshul. And if you guys, anyone has any questions, please you can ask, or you just put it on the chat box, and we'll take it up from there. And to add here, because a lot of questions regarding running and strength training, and I've been doing both, I'll just add to it, because running is not for everyone. Number one point, it's a very stressful way of workout. So if you love running, you do running, and for that you need to be ready to run. You cannot just take up running and start see somebody on the Instagram and start going, and because you need to build strength to run. So if you are not building enough strength to run, you will injure yourself in some time. That's for sure. I have gone through it. So, and I'll strongly advise that you should have at least 9 to 10 hours of difference between your strength training routine, whatever you're doing, and your running, or any sort of cardio you are doing, so that the effects don't nullify themselves, you can say, or they don't you don't end up overtraining, or injuring yourself.
Exactly.
So I'm just adding that, because as a runner, I'm adding to what Anshul said. And the first thing, if you need to do, I have my centenarian goals, what I want to do at my 90 years of age. So if you actually want to have some things that you would still like to do, I would like to be independent. I don't want anybody to carry my bag. I should be able to play with my great grandchild, So for that, you need to do strength training. That's the only way you can have a good health span. So I mean, if you have to do one form of exercise, if you have enough time only for that, I'll strongly recommend that start with, strength training, and you can add on to other form of exercise depending upon your goals and needs. Any more questions, or we'll wind up this evening?
That was a very good point that you put forward, Mr. Sandeep, that I want to be fit. I don't want to be dependent on someone to help me walk, and I want to be able to play with my grandson. Right? So you want to have that amount of strength at that age, which will only come from strength.
Absolutely.
Mr. Rakesh is asking. So he does run and he does yoga to recover from it. So yoga, again, it's a type of exercise, but it is not going to help you build up strength. It is good for your flexibility. So I do have a few of my mentees who love dancing, and for them, some sort of yoga, they love doing yoga as well. So that is for their flexibility. she loves doing belly dancing. So she incorporated that because she wanted to be flexible. So I won't suggest yoga as a way of building up strength for sure. At the end, it's body weight. It will take body. It is difficult. It is taxing for sure. There is no doubt on the same. But if you want to build strength, I would not say yoga is the way to do it. Yes, resistance training will help you with yoga as well. It will help you with yoga. There are certain asanas, there are certain positions that you need to hold, which requires strength, in your, especially in your upper body as well, right? So strength training is definitely going to help you with the same.
Yeah, I mean, just to sum up what Anshul has been saying is that don't miss your strength training, don't miss leg day, and even if you are, and you just need to do the basic 5 movement patterns. You don't need to make it very complicated. You see a lot of, I mean, simple push-up is much better than doing those jump around push-ups you see on Instagram. That's only made for Instagram. It's not helping you improve your strength. So simple body movements that you do day to day, you need lunges or hip hinges or push up, pull.
Try to make it a little challenging as you feel it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? You don't have to do a lot of variations, just have to make it challenging. You have a bag full of big books in it, carry it, and that's your weighted squats. Okay, if you don't have dumbbell, take 1 liter of bottles. That is again. So all these things can be used. You can always find an excuse to not do it, but there is always a way around that excuse as well. So my main goal was to help you understand the importance, because when you understand, then it becomes your choice. Then you are choosing not to do it, and you know what repercussions are you going to face, and eventually people change, right?
Yeah, and we have one more question on YouTube. I'm just bringing it here, Anshul, for you.
Surya Namaskar. So again, that is one of the exercise. That is a part, one of the if anyone knows yoga, if anyone doesn't know yoga, he know, okay, Surya Namaskar is a part of yoga. So it is like it's not very similar. We can say it does involve pushing up movement as well, but it will, see, if you practice Surya Namaskar, you will get better at doing Surya Namaskar. You will do, maybe if you're able to do it 10, if you practice it, you will do it 10, 12, 15, 20. Okay, but then you're not training each and every muscle, right? Surya Namaskar, as long as I understand, it involves more of your upper body strength. Okay, but after a certain period of time, how much Surya Namaskar will you end up do? You'll do 100, 150, 200? No, right? So what the easier thing will be to add weight. Okay, then you are making it challenging, and that is going to help you build more strength. So like a pencil, a pencil, I can do 1,000 reps. I can do it throughout the day, but that is not going to help me build strength in my bicep or muscle mass in my bicep, right? Because it is easier. I can do 1,000 reps of it. If I do 10 reps of 15, I will be out. Okay, now that is what is going to help build up that strength, build up that muscle mass.
I just put it simple, if you're able to do the normal push-ups properly, 15, add weight on your back and do another, next time you try with 5 kgs on your back. I mean, that's better than, doing it wrong or just keeping on doing 100 push-ups.
Yeah. See, if there is a competition where you want to do 100 push-ups, then there's a different thing. Okay, then practice for that, for sure. Okay, but if you're doing it to building up strength, then yes, make it taxing and take it slow. Okay, don't take things to the heart or difficult. When I started, I was not able to do 3 push-ups. This was 7 years ago, and I was skinny. I was like 55 kgs. Now I can do more than 35, 50 at a go. But it took me that 6, 7 years of consistency, right? So these things take time. But yeah.
One I think I'll add here with the whole thing about strength training. My strong recommendation is get yourself a trainer when you start, because I don't want you get injured by doing it wrongly. Strength training is a very, if you don't do it right, you may injure yourself. So it's better to invest in a trainer, and this is an investment. Just don't look at it, I cannot afford it. This is about you. If you are not fit, if you can't take care of yourselves, you'll not be able to take care of your business or job or family or kids, whatever. So just invest some money on yourself.
And you just have to do it once. You
Yeah.
learn exercises as you practice. You keep getting better, and if you have a good coach, he's going to make sure that you understand, that you learn. I remember, like Sandeep sir, he must have sent me a deadlift video at least consistently for 4 to 5 weeks. Every
Exactly.
time I was like, sir, yahan pe ye, yahan pe ye. I used to draw. Okay, sir, this is how you should look. This is how it is happening. And he used to come back. He used to improve on it, and he used to share a video. Okay, that is what is necessary. Online, offline, it
Exactly.
really doesn't
So
matter right now.
ask for help. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's the best way. Before, instead of enduring, or instead of getting excited by seeing somebody's Instagram influencers video, it's better to learn it properly and ask somebody or get a trainer. That is the only way. And you have to invest for a few months only, and then you will start to have a hang of it, and you can do it.
exactly,
So
exactly,
that way you will not be injured, and you don't want to get injured and get sick, and and not do anything.
exactly.
So thank you, Anshul. Wonderful
Thank you,
session, and
Sandeep, sir.
thanks for everyone who joined in.
Thank you, guys.
This will be there on YouTube forever, so you can always revisit. And if you anytime you have any questions, I will just pass on to Anshul and get the answer for you. And any we will try that if we can do sometime a live session with Anshul, some basic exercises, if we can body weight or something
Right.
using
We
some
will actually take a poll. We'll discuss. We'll see what kind of exercise people find difficult to do. I actually have an entire gym set up at home. I did it in my last lockdown itself. So
yeah.
yeah, that is something that we can definitely put effort on. But then
And
I would want people to start their camera so that I could look at each and every
exactly,
one of them.
exactly.
That
Yeah.
is the only thing that I would want, that people are doing alongside me. Only then it would make a big difference. If
Yep.
you guys are ready for it, then for sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll circulate a mail and I'll get back to you, Anshul. That will be a
Absolutely.
great thing to do. And
Absolutely.
as you know, we have been trying to build in different expert sessions. So next week we have a very interesting session on meditation, and how to calm yourselves and release yourself from stress. So do visit same time, 5 o'clock Saturday, next coming Saturday, and we have an interesting session on meditation and calmness and how to release yourself from stress. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Anshul.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
And
you, sir.
stay safe. Enjoy yourself. My holidays are getting over tomorrow and back home, back to the heat of Delhi at 43 degrees. Thanks. Thanks a lot.